Welcome, race fans, to another episode of the Pecino Report. This is the podcast/vodcast that gets past the hype and gives you the lowdown on what's happening in the MotoGP paddock. Well, it's season 2021. I'll put my teeth back in. It's episode 6. It's the Stefan Bradl episode. Woohoo! Apparently, he's pretty much Honda's #1 rider these days. Well. So we're only 2 weeks away from racing. We've had testing. We've seen the first shots have been fired across the bow of all the MotoGP teams. So we know who's fast and who's not fast so far. And I wish I was stuck at this place behind me at the Losail International Circuit. Oh my God, I'm so excited. It's going to be great. So before we get into it, it's a very warm hello to my co-host, Andra. How are you, Andra? You enjoying watching testing so far?
Oh my God, seriously, as it's like even people at work that have nothing to do with this or anything to do with motorbikes, like, Andrew, how long till the races start? Because everyone's getting excited with me. But just seeing all the social media posts and everything happening, and bloody bring it on.
It is, yeah, really exciting, isn't it? And of course, it's a big welcome to El Jefe himself, Mr. MotoGP, Manuel Pecino. How are you, boss?
Hola, brothers and sisters. How are you? I am fine here. The spring is arriving, no? Here in Spain, yeah. You are entering into autumn,
We're
right?
going into autumn, that's right. Yep.
Yes, and here the weather is changing now, sunny, fantastic. How every day should be. So let's start, because I have a lot of stuff to talk about the testing. I have analyzed very much what went on in Losail. So it will be a pretty interesting podcast this time.
I certainly hope so. So first of all, it looks like you're still at home in Spain there. So you should be at this place. Are you going to go there? When are you going to go there? What's the process from here for you?
Oh, yes. Look, my flight is scheduled for the March 23rd. Excellent. So I leave about 8 in the morning, and it's a 6-hour flight, not too much. So in the afternoon, I will be in Doha, and then I will enter in the MotoGP bubble. They call it the MotoGP bubble. It's so interesting because
getting close in that bubble.
Way, sorry?
I just pictured everyone in this big blow up.
Oh yeah. But look, in a certain way, Qatar has come to rescue the start of MotoGP, right? Because you remember that the tests in Malaysia were canceled due to
that's right.
This pandemic. Okay, it was canceled. So Qatar accepted to do the first test. So they had 2 tests. Then in Sepang, there should have been the Asian Talent Cup selection. It is happening now. It is happening now in Qatar. The test of Moto2 and Moto3 tests that were to happen in Spain will happen in Qatar.
This week, yeah, later this week.
Then we have the Qatar Grand Prix, and remember that Argentina and the American Grand Prix was cancelled. So Qatar accepted to do a second Grand Prix. So imagine how big the oxygen that Qatar has given to the championship.
Yeah.
And there is something more that happened just a few days ago. The Qatari government announced that they would vaccinate the whole MotoGP circus.
Nice.
For free with Pfizer vaccine.
Yep.
It is 1,300 people. We will be in Qatar.
Well, they just had a few spares lying around.
Yep, a couple of spares.
Not bad, eh? Not bad.
So as soon as you get there, you get vaccinated as part of the process going in?
Yeah, because let me explain that. Look, they have done really good job. We are registered in the computer for immigration as a special bubble. So when MotoGP riders or anybody who is in MotoGP arrives at Doha, there is a special line called MotoGP. You have to arrive with a PCR, right?
Yep.
Done. That's 72 hours before. As soon as you arrive, you get another PCR. Then you arrive, stick in your nose, and then you go through a special immigration only for MotoGP. Then there are Well, you have special counter for SMS cards, for telephone cards. You have special counter for exchanging money. So everything just for MotoGP, for
Wow.
1,300 people. Then there are 5 hotels that are called MotoGP bubble hotels, where only MotoGP people will be. But hotels from the level of the Ritz-Carlton, Sheratons, you know.
Yep.
So in this hotel, it's incredible. No one will leave this bubble. So all the people that work in the hotel have to sleep for 20 days in the hotel. They can't go back to their houses.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Just to cure the bubble.
Rental cars will not be allowed to be rented cars. So there will be shuttle services from these 5 hotels constantly every hour to the circuit, back and forward.
Yep.
And the drivers of these buses have to sleep in the hotel as well.
Cool.
Okay. You are not allowed to go to any grocery to buy nothing.
Yep.
The food, the restaurants inside the hotels are open, but the people of the restaurants have to live in the hotels. Yes.
Oh my God.
So it's an infrastructure incredible.
That is crazy. And obviously, the riders and the teams are there now, and they've been there for some time. So they're going to obviously have to stay there for the next 2 weeks until racing starts as well.
No, I have to tell you, it's funny because the idea was that it should stay there. And the Qatari government had arranged as a number of activities for the MotoGP bubble, like going into the desert and drive 4-wheel drives and whatever.
All that stuff. Yep.
You can do karting, you can do motocross. So it's like
that's going to be a cool little holiday, like a nice little adventure.
Yeah, but I have to say that the one who complained about staying there after the test were Ducatis, Italians. They wanted to go back to their mamas. I want to go back. We are not going to stay. We are not going to...
That's brilliant.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So the government first say, no way. You have to stay, because if not, it's a mess. With the bubble, you come in, you come out. At the end, who won? Ducati.
The Italians, yeah.
Of course.
And what happened? The others, the French, the whatever, they were supposed to stay. But as the Italians left, wow, a lot of people left with them.
Right. Oh, wow.
But this is all because the Ducati didn't want to stay. Okay, so this is the situation. This is what I'm going to face. So the cost of it is hyper high, because these hotels where, as you cannot go where you want, obviously what happened?
Yeah.
I can tell you that standard room, it's about 178 euros. I don't know how much it is in Australian dollars.
$250
per night.
Yep.
So imagine I have to stay there 13 nights.
Oh God.
And there is something more. The food, as you cannot buy food wherever, you have to eat the food from the hotels.
Of course, yeah. So you got to pay the restaurant rates.
It's about another, I don't know if it's 50 or 25 euros per meal. So forget it. It's better not thinking about it, because you get crazy.
But it's worth it, so you can get the news to us.
I was going to say, it's a unique experience and situation, because you're not going to have fans. You're not going to have people coming through.
No,
it's just...
mistake. There will be fans.
Oh, how?
Ooh. There will be. Look, I tell you, the Qataris, I tell you, because there will be, so far, the Qatari government has authorized 20% of the normal number, but the organization tries to get some more. Okay, and look, it's very interesting. What's behind all this? Remember that Qatar is going to host in 2022 the Football World Championship.
Yeah.
And they are basically training circumstances. Okay. So they have organized a golf tournament, tennis, but as they say, look, when people from tennis came, there were how many? 50 people, 75 people. Hosting MotoGP is another step.
Yeah.
Because we have to control 1,300 people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all preparing for the big, huge event.
For the
That
FIFA
is the
World Cup,
football.
yeah.
Exactly.
I still remember
So
you, Manuel, at the start of COVID talking about everyone having to be isolated in the hotel and they were having paella in the courtyard with everyone.
Yes.
You know how many independent journalists are going to Qatar?
0? Oh, geez. 6 of you.
6.
Oh, my God.
Normally, in the press room, there are 200 or 300.
Yep.
Wow.
But who can afford to spend that money, if you are independent?
Yeah, exactly.
So there will be one British, one Irish, one Japanese, one Italian,
yep,
one Spaniard,
one worldwide.
Worldwide.
I know two Italians and one worldwide. That's me. So that's all.
Wow, that's crazy. That's going to be such a different experience for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting.
As you are in the air business, the flights to Doha, the plane is flying with 25, 30 people, not more.
Oh, nice. That'll be a good flight. You'll get great service.
I have to see, because probably the service will be kind of COVID service. I don't know how it's going to work. I will tell you.
I'll put it in a little bag and throw it at you.
So they do everything with masks on and all that sort of stuff. It is very strange. I've been taking some flights around Australia the last few weeks. We've started traveling again, and it's very strange. You have to wear a mask on the flight unless you're eating or drinking. So
there's me. I won't be wearing a mask. I'll be eating and drinking the whole time.
Yeah,
and are these planes full? I mean,
in Australia, yes, yeah. In Australia,
people seated normally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, seated normally. It is really weird, because you have to go to the airport and wear a mask and socially distance, queue 2 meters apart, get to the aircraft 2 meters apart. Yeah, and then you go poof, and you sit right next to the person. It's weird. It's like, why did we do this? It's crazy. Anyway, enough of that. So let's get on to testing. Talk to me. What have you learned from testing?
Ask me. I am here to get shooted. Shoot to me.
Okay, right. So from an outsider's point of view, what I've learned from testing, Ducati's fast. Oh, yeah, we knew that already, of course. And the Yamaha 2019 chassis is better than the 2020 chassis, of course. But the things for me is what's happening with KTM and what's happening with Honda. I'm really interested to find out what's happening with KTM and Honda according to the test.
I have to tell you that nothing what happened or what told you was not predictable. Absolutely nothing is new. Nothing. Look, I have compared the result of the 2021 Qatar test with the result of the 2020 Qatar test. Remember, last year they went to Qatar and at the end they didn't race because all these stories started. Comparison. Okay, so watching at this, you realize that nothing has changed. Last year, the top three guys in the test were Viñales, Quartararo, and Morbidelli. The top three guys.
Who were now 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Exactly. This time they made 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So what is new? Nothing new.
Yep.
We saw somebody says that Jack Miller has kind of let fall that Suzuki has hidden their cards, that they had played poker. That Suzuki had not shown all what they had.
Yeah.
If you go back to if you go back to the 2020 test, they finished even higher. So they finished 5th and 6th. This year they have finished 7 and 8.
Yes.
Nothing strange. Stu, nothing strange, because Suzuki has never been a fast bike in testing.
Yep.
In qualifying, remember what happened with them last year. The biggest problem they had was qualifying. So nobody should expect them being at the top. They are where they have to be. Okay. Then Ducati. It's clear that it's a Ducati circuit. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Dovizioso won there 2019, 2018, and made second in 2017. So
they've always been competitive there.
So Zarco doing well is not strange. Remember how good he did on the Yamaha there. And now it's a circuit that is good for him, and he has a bike that is a rocket. No strange.
Yep.
And Honda. Honda, look, it's so interesting. The Honda riders had 10 crashes. 10 crashes during the testing. All of them crashed. All, from the first to the last.
Yep.
Is this strange? No. Why? You know how many times Marc Marquez has won in Qatar? Once. And when was it? Back in 2014.
Yep.
Since 2014, a Honda doesn't win in Qatar. And the only one who managed to win was a guy called Marc Marquez in 2014. He has tried to the end to win the races, but I don't know why the Honda doesn't work in Qatar. It's so difficult, and it's not just a coincidence that all of them crashed. That they crashed 10 times. It's impossible to be a coincidence. You know, in racing, nothing happens because of nothing.
Yeah,
so
and
Honda,
we heard the other week Paul saying he has to find the limit of the bike, and that's clearly what he's doing.
Yeah, and the other ones, because he said very clear, look, he said, when I look at the Stefan Bradl's data, who was the fastest guy there, or when I go through Marc Marquez's data in Qatar, I realize that the key is to push the front. You know, they have to push the front to the limit, something that Paul says that he was not used to with the KTM, because the KTM is a bike that you ride with the rear wheel. Rear wheel. So after 4 years riding a bike that performs by taking out the maximum of the back, you switch to another one where you have to trust in the front. Then it's he needs a time.
Yeah, fair enough. And so KTM, there's been all this talk for the last 6 months about this super engine, and they were going to be so fast. And so I think this is the one main thing that surprised me, is that KTM aren't faster. There's a big gap between KTM and the front 2 or 3 guys. So are they sandbagging? Are they just going through their testing process slowly, or is there problems there?
It's also nothing surprising. You know, it's not surprising. Before arriving in Qatar, Dani Pedrosa said very clear, in Qatar we will suffer because it's a kind of track that doesn't suit to our bike. Okay. Why? I explain you. The KTMs, the RC16 is the name of the KTM, its strong point is the stability in the front. Okay, they are very good in hard braking and entering into the turn with the brakes braking very much to the apex. In this, they are extremely efficient. Which is their weak point? Their weak point is corner speed. In Qatar, the layout makes that the braking has to be early, then you release the brake, and then you do corner speed, you know, because it's like, whoa, you know, you have to let the bike just flow.
I was going to say it's more flowing, yeah.
Yeah, you brake early and then you release the brakes and you turn. You turn. No, it's not like getting into the braking and then and in this the KTM is very bad. So there is no surprise, really. There is no surprise. But basically, in nothing what happened. And you said, for example, the chassis, the Yamaha chassis 2021 is better than the 2020.
Yeah, because it's the 2019 chassis, basically.
How can we know? What has been different in practice than it was last year? Nothing. As I told you, the 3 Yamahas finished at the top last year with that horrible chassis.
Yep.
They have
True.
done the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
this
very
year.
true.
So until we get to a race, we don't see if the Yamaha are good enough. Look, and then let me explain you something that is amazing. To analyze the Yamaha, it's very interesting in this test, because as we see, when Losail is a very wide track, wide, you say wide, no? Like this?
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
wide. So what allows this, the Yamaha? The Yamaha turns so good that it allows to use the whole track. The lines are wide and round, with speed. They have a lot of corner speed because the track is very wide, so they can really turn around. What happens in the middle of the race? If you have a Ducati on the side, Ducati on the front, then you cannot do these lines. So you got stuck in the middle of the traffic. You can see this if you, in the layout of the track, you have to have a look at turn 12, 13, and 14. It's, as you can see, it's kind of an omega, right?
Yep.
An omega sign.
Yep.
So there are 3 corners, but it's basically 1 corner. You do it with lean over and lean over and lean. At this point, Stu and Andra, Quartararo and Vinales were extremely fast. The lap time, the good lap time that put them at the top, they made it in T4, in section 4.
Okay, yeah,
Wow.
around that last corner section.
Yeah, at this point, it was like, as they can use very wide the track, and the Yamaha is a very good turning bike, they really flew there. It's incredible how fast they were there. But again, this, while they are with clean track in front, it's capable. The problem is being stuck in a group.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So how come we've seen the 2 Monster Energy factory Yamahas and the 1 Sepang Racing Team Yamaha in the top 4, but then Valet is all the way down in what, 10th, 11th, something like that. So that there still seems to be a difference there. Is that age, or is there something else going on with Valet?
Well, it's a long time since Valentino has been not fast in practice. Valentino, in all his career, has been basically a racer.
Yeah.
A Sunday racer, as you say. It's more or less what happens with the Suzuki. The Suzuki is a Sunday racing bike. They are good in the race, not in practicing, as we said before, And Valentino is the same. Valentino, I think he's 0.8 behind the fastest or something like this.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's with Valentino, we can say that it's more or less normal. Okay. Valentino, I don't count with him as a winner, but he's in the position he has to be. So nothing abnormal with Valentino. He started extremely bad, the testing.
Yeah.
After the first day, he was 1.7 behind the fastest.
Yeah,
and he has been typical Valentino. He's worked and ping. He stepped up. But he's not in the super top group. Okay.
Yep. Okay. And Alicia Spargo, that's a fantastic result there for the Aprilia Gresini team in 6th, only less than half a second off the Ducati pace. Is that a good indication for the year again for Aprilia development?
I spoke a lot with one responsible of Aprilia, and I have a lot of information about Aprilia. Look, they explained to me. What you have to realize is that last year our bike was completely new. Engine, the bike was a complete new bike. So we had no reference. There were the logical youth problems. Okay. He said, now, obviously, we have worked with that bike for a whole year. So the biggest youth problems we have polished. Now what we have done is we have been adding new stuff, but it's not like we know now the bike. Okay.
Yeah.
Then they said, okay, but we are positive, but we are realistic. Qatar can be a mirage, like you do in the desert, right? You say mirage?
Mirage,
yes.
yeah.
Because what happens? Qatar is probably the best circuit for the Aprilia in the championship. And Qatar is a circuit where Aleix always is fast. So they can do well there, but it might not be the reality when they arrive in Europe.
Yeah, okay.
So I asked him, okay, that's clear, but which would be a good result for you in the race? Because, wow, when you see the Aprilia, you can imagine them fighting for the podium. They said, okay, let's be realistic. Realistic means what? Realistic means if we finish at top 10, it would be a fantastic result.
Yeah.
If we finish top 6, would be like winning the race. So don't imagine that we will see the Aprilia, wow, you know, making a revolution, because it won't happen.
Be good if we can see them in that mid-pack fight, though. That'd be really nice.
Yeah, and there is something very interesting. Look, it might sound strange, or maybe somebody will say, hey, what is this guy saying? The test is nothing worth. We just saw the test. The race will be different. And I tell you something, you know who is going to win the race? That is not going to win the race the guy who will be fastest. No way. The race will get won by the guy who manages the rear tire best to the end of the race.
Yep. And we don't have a Jovi anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Losail is an extremely abrasive circuit. Not because the tarmac is rough and abrasive, because the tarmac basically is slick. And in fact, they will change the whole tarmac when the second race finishes, the whole tarmac. The problem is the sand that is in, in the holes on the tarmac, that has the effect of, how do you say, sandpaper, right?
Yeah.
So there are two factors that I can tell you now without knowing that I won't mistake. Two factors that will decide the race: managing the tires and fuel consumption.
Ah, right.
We have seen many times bikes stopping immediately after the flag, running out of fuel.
Yep.
So, the Ducati can't use their power for the whole race. No way. They would never finish the race. And this happened for the others. So they have, first, the rider have to manage the tire. If somebody tries to escape at the beginning, this guy will not arrive at the end. So the others, they have to manage. If somebody tries to escape, the ones who really want to win the race have to be smart enough or calm enough to not fall into the trap.
So I'm gonna ask a question I would have asked probably a year ago, but in regards to the fuel for the race, are they allocated only a certain amount, or they can just have one tank full?
No, the fuel tank is 22 liters.
And that's it.
Okay. Yeah. And you know that the engineers, they calculate the consumption in grams, not in liters. It's grams. So one a bike uses 700 grams fuel per lap in Qatar.
Okay.
So imagine how critical they do. When they get out of the circuit, the pit lane for the first time to get to the grid, they get into a mode that they called eco lap. Eco lap.
Oh, right. Yep.
Yes. This eco lap, they do the lap about 30 km per hour, very slow. In that lap, they have to consume maximum 300 grams.
Wow.
It's down to this, because if not, they don't get to the finish line.
Jeez.
Has anyone stopped just before the finish line running out of fuel?
I don't remember, but probably yes. Don't
Because
appeal
it's
to my
such a,
memory.
like you say, we've seen them just get past, but it's a fine line.
Yeah, I've seen it happen in
Or
F1.
look, or probably what can happen is, because I don't know, but you know, there is no connection between the bike and the boxes. There is not right
Yeah, they don't
connection.
know. Yep.
They can control, but obviously the engineers, I don't know exactly how they do it. They know about the fuel consumption, and then you can see on the board they show switch to
Mapping.
they change the mapping, so
Yeah.
the bike loses power.
Yeah.
Ah,
And that's why you get those messages about go to mapping 2, because as you say, they can see the lap times, and so knowing the lap times, they know
calculate it.
very accurately exactly how much fuel they're using, and so they can see, as you say, Manuel, if someone's really hammering to try and get away or to try and break away from a fight, they might be using too much fuel, and that's why you'll see them going switch to mapping 2 or 3 or
Yeah,
compensate.
it's to the mapping switching normally is more related to the consumption of the rear tire that the engineers calculate as well. But in this case, is related to both the fuel consumption and the tires. But I tell you, look, imagine at the end of the race, a group, normally there should be a group like in 2019. Andra, have a look at the race of 2019 and you will realize, because it was a look, and at the end, who won? The Ducati. Because if they arrive in a group, the Ducati is so much faster on the straight that Jack or Sarko just have to open the gas. Because turn 16, here we can put the map again. Turn 16 is a turn that is an awful turn, because they come from 240, I think, and they have to stop the bike when they exit that turn 16 to start for the finish line. That is very back in the very far away at the end of the straight. They are around 100 kilometers per hour. So basically, they start to accelerate from 0. And in this point, the Ducati, bye-bye, Fräulein.
Yep. Out of the way.
And they know this. And they know this. So the only chance, look, I am excited with this, as you can see. The only chance for Yamaha is that they arrive at the last stop with a certain advantage. They need 1 second when they got into the straight.
Yep.
And then, if they are in front, they can get that second in that famous section 4.
Yeah, definitely.
If Quartararo or Viñales is in front in the last lap, in section 4, they will go for, we say hospital or podium.
Yes.
On top
win
of the
it or
podium.
win it. Yeah.
Or there are 2 doors. One says the Clinica and the other one says victory.
Yeah.
So in section 4, they have to give it all. But obviously, obviously the others, Jack, or if a Suzuki is there, they know with this, what will they try? To avoid, in any case, that the Yamaha are in front in section 4.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't give them the room to be able to pull out. Yeah, that's it. Indeed. So what do you reckon those 2 or 3 key points that you've taken away from testing are this week?
The key points, nothing is different than last year.
Yep.
Everything what happened is predictable.
Yep.
And the races, not the fastest rider will win the race.
Nice. Good
Not
stuff.
necessary. Obviously, maybe he does. Or maybe Jack wins the race, but it doesn't mean that the one who qualifies. No. The track in this case sets the rules.
Yep.
It's not the riders, the track, the condition of the track, the sand and the fuel.
Cool.
Do you have a prediction for the first race?
I think Jack can win.
Even with the tires?
He has to be smart. Look, he has so much power. If he stands behind the Yamahas, it's not a problem. He has the car that his engine. So if he has to be smart to arrive in a good condition. Because the only thing that he has to avoid is to get, to stay back. If he is in the front, he has not to be leading the race, because he has this power that in the last
Just
lap,
stay up.
yes, just boom.
Stay up there,
If you-
maintain it, keep it all under control,
look,
and then
Be
blitz
within
it.
a second of the leaders.
If you watch race 2019, 2018, you will see exactly this is what Dovizioso did. Stu, remember, and Marquez desperate entered first in the last straight, and Dovi just and waved to him, bye bye.
Exactly. Cool.
So Jack for me is a favorite. I can see also Zarco doing well, and the Yamahas. Morbidelli, the Yamahas will be there, especially Quartararo and Viñales, and the Suzuki will be around, but I think I don't give them too much credit to win the Suzuki. The favorite, look, if Ducati doesn't win there, it's a big, because there are two circuits, basically Ducati circuits. One is Austria and the other one is this year.
Yeah, indeed.
They should leave the two Grand Prix with 50 points in the championship.
Nice.
Okay. Which riders, I don't know. We expect to be with Jack.
Yeah. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to ask you about this week, we saw some footage of Marc Marquez on a mini bike this week.
Oh.
So yeah.
Let me tell you a story because we live. Look.
I got excited.
Today,
they went, Mark's on a bike. Oh, really?
No. You will get more excited with what I tell you. Today is Tuesday, right?
Okay.
Yesterday, Monday, Ritz Carlton, Gym, Doha. Attention. Now I'm going to just imagine what. Put an image in to what
Close
I am
your
telling
eyes,
you.
imagine.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Ritz Carlton, Doha, Gym.
I'm there.
Joan Mir, Pablo Nieto, and other guys from the bubble are in the gym training.
Yep.
Exercising. Look at that.
Posing.
Suddenly the door opens and Marc Marquez enters.
Oh no.
What?
So he's there.
He so imagine all like got shocked. They with the elbow, if when you see a cool guy or a cool girl, whatever, they look. Marc entered, and he just said, "Hola," nothing else.
Is he trying to psych him out?
Hang on. And went straight to the rowing machine.
Oh, to use the arm.
Nice.
Sat down and started to row like a beast. And obviously everyone was like looking to him, like nobody saying nothing, just looking.
Yep.
So he finished the rowing, stood up, adios, and left. No more words that hola and adios, not going to the guys, hey, how are you? No, nothing.
Was it purely for show?
When he left, the comments were, have you seen his muscles? He's like, he said, wow, he's like a bull, strong. And one said, and this bastard could have worn a t-shirt from his size, not an XS t-shirt.
You wore
he entered with a t-shirt that was exactly, he destroyed them.
Was this a setup? Was this a psychological
mental? Yep.
It's like a perfect Hollywood script.
Yeah.
Because everything was like prepared. He enters and he didn't go to John to talk about the championship. No. Hi. But went away. T-shirt like, and he was smart and didn't do any exercise with weights with his arms.
Yeah.
So he left everybody thinking, what? And they are all, I bet that they are all now thinking what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. So because Marc went to get the first shot of the vaccine.
Yep.
So he got that shot yesterday, Monday, and immediately he took a plane and returned to Spain. Which means that he has to come back.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Mark plan for this week, he will test this week on a non-MotoGP bike, and he has two possible scenarios. They are thinking in two possible scenarios. One Portimao and one Jerez.
Right.
He will test there, and because the doctors, when he went through the last exam, they said, Mark, the bone is okay. You have the same possibility to break the left than the right humerus. This is okay. But we recommend you not to get immediately on a MotoGP bike, because now what you have to check are your muscles and your tendons.
Yeah.
You have been without riding so long, so you need to check how the muscles and the tendons will behave. And so what did he do? Immediately he jumped on a mini bike. There are videos of him riding the mini. The next step is going on a standard bike. Probably it will be a RCV.
Yep.
You know, the street bike. So the team obviously is very excited. They asked him, do you want that we send some mechanics with you for these tests? He said, no. There is no need, because I will take normal mechanic, because it's a normal bike.
Yep.
So what he's going to do, he's going to do laps and laps to check how his body will react to the riding. Okay. And the option between Portimao and Jerez, I don't know, but I can imagine that he will go to both. Portimao for sure, because he can start to learn. He learns the bike. He has never ridden in Portimao. So even with a street bike, he will know the blind corners. And then when he gets there, he knows where the bike, he has to put the bike.
Yep.
So this is the situation. And this appearance of Mark has killed the information about the testing. Nobody speaks about anything else that Mark in Qatar.
Wow. Speaking of
Way to
oxygen,
get him
he
talking.
just sucks all the oxygen out of the room, doesn't he?
Exactly. Very good. Yes, that's a good image.
Oh, to be a fly on a wall, that's crazy.
Oh my God. Fantastic. So
Are there
any more? Yeah, sorry, go on. You go, Andrew.
I was going to say, are there any wild cards this year?
Yes, but not in Qatar, of course. They will race in Europe.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And the problem is, sorry, the problem is, the question is, when will Mark return? Okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
In the team last Friday, the idea, because it's down to Mark will decide, but they think the idea was probably he will return for the second race in Qatar, the so-called Doha Grand Prix. This was the idea they were dealing with last Friday, 3 days ago. But with Marquez, you never know. No, he may appear the 26th for the testing, for the practice, and you never know. But it will happen much, much earlier than any of us expected.
Oh, for sure.
It's amazing. And I tell you, he has blown up the brain of the rest of his riders. You know?
Well, that's what he does. He's psyched people out for years and years and years, and he just continues to do so.
I have a question, Manuel. I'm going to chuck it in now from one of our listeners.
Go for it.
If Honda's now testing for more rider friendly, so they've obviously changed the bikes. I know that Mark had them set up a certain way, but they've adjusted that. Is that going to be a problem for when he comes back? Because they're going to have to change. Can they just change the bike again, or will he have to ride it with the current?
Oh, look, you have to realize that if they do an easier bike, it will be an easier bike for
easier
Mark
for him. But do
So,
they tune it for him to get more out of it? Like, why does he ride it at a harder setting then, or a harder?
Well, this is set up, but basically what Mark did the difference because he was capable to ride the bike that nobody else were capable to ride. That's why he crashed so much. That's why he has so much saving. If they do a less critical bike with the front, the problem of the Honda is the front. That's why we have seen Mark crashing so much, because the front end is so critical. If they fixed it or reduce that critical behavior, it will be also better for him.
Yeah.
The thing is that while he was there, he was winning, even with this critical bike.
Yep.
The problem was that when he disappeared, then the engineer had no other option that go for it. You understand? And
Yep.
they did, and this will 100% help Marc Marquez.
Nice. Any other listener questions this week?
I do have one more, thank you. And I also just need to say hello to Andrew and Gillian because they're our number one fans.
What's up, number one fans?
Yay. They had their vaccination too the other day, so they'll be ready to travel around the world. Manuel, do you think that Suzuki will struggle also because of the Japanese culture politeness and avoidance of losing face, hampering their team boss's ability to take command or show of leadership?
Okay, yes. Now traduce it to me so I can understand it. Translate it to me, please.
So they don't have Brivio in charge anymore, who could just say, do this, do that. They've now got, is it Kawachi-san is just in basically in charge?
He seems quite passive. He seems quite...
with him being passive and Japanese style, is that going to be a problem for the rest of the team because he's not as active as Davide was?
I don't know, but look, you know that I like very much to go back to the figures and analyze what has happened through the years, right? And Suzuki has not won back-to-back championship for the last 30 years, since Lucchinelli and Uncini won the championship. So the statistic says that is almost impossible that the Suzuki repeats the success of last year. Obviously, the statistics are also there to be broken, but you know, it's very difficult, especially because Honda returns. Look, Honda has been humiliated last year by not winning a race. They have been humiliated because finally all what people were saying about without Marc, you will get lost. You will get lost. And they were saying, no, our bike is a winning bike. So they lost and they got, so they are returning with all what they have. So if Honda doesn't win this championship, some head will roll in Tokyo.
Right.
I really want Marc to get better and come back, but I hope he doesn't come back and just dominate it again because I loved last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look, I
love the unpredictability and.
Yeah, but look, I was discussing this last night with some friends. Okay, last year it was very exciting. We didn't know who he was going to win. We saw so many people winning races, but the sport missed their reference.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
A sport needs a reference, even if he wins all. But you lose I don't know, you need a myth up there. You need a reference.
Someone to
like
chase,
tennis,
someone
we
to
have a reference, exactly. In all sports, it's okay. It's very exciting, but a sport without the guy,
someone might get close, or someone might nearly beat him, or they might. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, and what he did, this entering in this gym, shows he is the boss.
He means business. He's
the
back.
godfather,
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't there. I was told about this situation, but I can imagine perfectly. In your imagination, you can imagine him entering there, all like.
And he'd see everyone looking from his peripheral, like everyone going, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it's like back in school again.
Yeah, no. Again, it was. When he was here, it was boring him winning. But when he wasn't, we missed him because we missed the man.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I ask a question? One more. This is my question. This is a participant of the podcast question. Maverick, I'm being very judgy. So He's just got married. He's waiting for a baby to pop out. Not of him.
He's looking very good.
Is he focused enough? Like over our conversations, I take him as, because at my mature age of 43, I take him as he's like a teenager that goes, I know it all. You can't tell me, what I need to do. Is he focused enough for this season? He seems quite distracted. And
I have been hearing that he's practicing his starts and his opening laps over the last few days. Is that
because of Manuel's conversation with him?
Well, I don't know. Is it? Yeah.
The thing is, the thing of the Maverick, he says, look, the situation of Maverick is completely different. He says, without Valentino in the garage, Yamaha should work in another way.
Oh, because he gets the left side now.
Yeah, but the thing is, again, we will see it in the race. We will see, look, which are Maverick's weak points? The start. The aggressivity in the first lap. He just isn't aggressive to.
I watched that race. You told me he started from pole and just.
Yeah, I remember in that race he arrived at the first corner in Qatar on the left, and suddenly he should have just bang closed the door.
6 bikes went past him,
and then suddenly, when he saw a lot of bikes getting inside, he just had not the courage of just throwing his bike inside.
Yep. Can you see Stu's frozen? I think
Stu is frozen.
The dial-up internet in Queensland must have cut off because it's past a certain time.
I think that's what it is. I can hear you guys fine.
Oh damn it! I was trying to talk about you, thinking you couldn't answer me.
Yeah, you can. Am I frozen? But you can hear me.
At least you're picking your nose or something.
You look like a serial killer, like this.
You look like
serial killer.
Yep, the dial-up's cut off. Oh, look out.
Okay.
I just randomly dropped out and came back.
How many did you kill in these 10 seconds?
Oh, at least 9. That's it. Careful, I may kill again.
Did the crocodile jump off the treadmill that runs your internet up there in Queensland?
That's what it is, yeah. Look, I've got nothing else for today, mate. I just wanted to finish by having one quick comment outside of MotoGP. I wanted to say, how good does that Mark VDS Moto 2 bike look?
Oh my God.
That is stunning. That looks really,
Superb.
really good. It looks gorgeous.
I'm very excited for Moto 2.
Indeed, that is going to be really good. But this week, I think we'll see Moto 2 testing. We'll get a bit of an idea to see where Jake and Sam are at, and the rest of the paddock as well.
Is Jake? I know that he's been out doing a bit of dirt bike action, and everything seems like it's good.
Yeah, I haven't heard if he's there, but we'll see.
Yeah, and REMY is training hard.
Yes,
we all push for REMY, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Definitely. I'd say he's close to the favourite this year. Him and Sam will be the top
yes,
two.
He has to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be good to watch.
Perfect. All right, boss. Any final comments or anything from you before we sign off?
No, I think that again. Next week we can have a chat about Moto 2 and Moto 3. That will be quite exciting.
I would like that very much. Yes.
Yeah, because they are second and third division, but they exist as well.
They're just as exciting, if not more exciting.
Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful.
Nice
so having said that, great chat. Andrew, have you got some final comments for our viewers and listeners before we head out?
I do. We've had a massive increase in our followers and subscribers over our last couple of episodes. So thank you so much to everyone that's subscribed. Please continue to share, tell your mates, drop us a message, follow us on Instagram, check out MotoGP.com and MotoGP.es if you speak 100 languages.
You mean Pecino GP?
What did I say?
You said MotoGP.
Did I really?
No, MotoGP. Yeah.
I'm just supporting everyone.
Don't go to MotoGP.com. No one cares about that website. Make sure you get
who cares about MotoGP? They have enough readers.
Exactly. When he had 2 drinks. I'm sorry, Manuel. You go. You explain it better.
No, that's fine. I was just going to ask them. Well, where can they get the latest news? And I did see
MotoGP
some stories from MotoGP.com. Apparently, you've got some new stories up on there in the last few weeks. There's some good content.
Yeah. I have good stories, and I have analysis of the testing for each brand. So well, it's good to have a look because you are completely into what happens in the testing. And
Exactly.
I have to announce
Oh,
that we will have some interesting new products
Ooh,
here, and just
some
keep waiting.
merch.
It will be a
products.
shot. Yes, store products. I mean, products. Yeah, different stuff that we will
Oh,
Ooh.
invent for our listeners. That will be super mega cool.
outstanding.
Just keep.
Can't
Ooh.
wait to hear more
I
about that.
can't
All right.
wait.
Yes, yes.
I'll keep hassling you about that.
As soon as we stop recording, I explain to you.
Wonderful. All right. So on that note, everybody, thank you again so much for sitting there and watching and listening to the absolute master of MotoGP himself for the last hour or so. It's been educational, wonderful as always. This week, make sure you get and check out the Moto 2 and Moto 3 testing, and then in 2 weeks' time, we're here. It's underway. I'm so excited. Yep. Hit the notification bell, like, subscribe. Make sure you tell all your friends about it. If we're doing something you don't like, make sure you let
Tell
us
us
know.
too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Tell us.
Probably more than the likes, because so we learn.
Exactly.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And if
Cool.
you've got questions, keep sending the questions through as well.
Yeah.
We love answering the questions. But until next week, we will be back next week. I just keep seeing this thing come up, and it
I know,
looks like
it's
I've got long hair. It looks like I'm
a mullet. It looks like you got a
fantastic.
mullet.
Looks great. But yeah, until then, everybody, stay upright. Let's talk to you soon and
See you
watch the
next
MotoGP.
week.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Stay
Bye.
safe. Stay safe. Bye bye.